Welcome back, scholars, to our week 2 of our vocabulary lesson. This video is part 2. If you missed part 1, stop now and you can go back and catch part 1 of our vocabulary lesson. We're going to do 2 new words today. It'll be words 3 and 4. I've run out of room on this page, so I'm going to turn my page to a fresh page, but I still have it labeled Vocabulary Week 2. And this third word is yearn. Yearn. Y-E-A-R-N. Yearn. Have you heard that word before? Do you know what it means? Well, it's a verb, which means it's an action. It's something you do. Yearn, to have a strong wish or longing for something. So yearn means to have a strong wish or longing for something. Let's write the definition in our notebook. To have a strong wish or longing for something. Yearn, to have a strong wish or longing for something. Let's take a look at this word in a sentence to help deepen our understanding. After she moved to a new school, Margot missed her old friends and yearned to see them again. So, Margot has a strong wish to see her friends again because she moved away. She longs to see them again. So, for this next activity, I want you to think about how we would use the word yearn. I want you to number across your paper 1 through 5. You don't need a whole lot of space because all you're going to write is either a check or an X. If the word means about the same as yearn, which means to have a strong wish or longing for something, if it has nearly the same meaning, you're going to put a check. And if it does not have the same meaning, you're going to put an X. Ready? Number 1, want. Want. Does want mean about the same as yearn? Put a check or an X. Number 2, detest. Detest. If you don't know what it means, take a guess. Number 3, desire. Desire. Number 4, dislike. Dislike. And number 5, long for. Long for. Let's go over the answers. Number 1, want. Well, if you want something really badly, you definitely yearn for it. If you want it really badly, you're either wishing for it or have a longing for it. Number 2, detest. This one's tricky if you don't know what it means, but detest means you hate it. And if you hate it, you don't have a strong wish for something. You don't have a strong longing for something. You don't want it because you hate it. So detest would be an X. Number 3, desire. If you desire something, you want it very much. You would have a strong wish or longing for it. So desire, number 3, should be a check. Number 4, dislike. Well, if you dislike something, that means you don't like something. And if you don't like it, you're not longing for it. You don't want it. So I'm going to put an X. Number 4, I'm sorry, we did number 4. Number 5, long for. Well, if you look back at our definition, if we have a longing for something, that means we yearn for it, we want it. So number 5 is also a check. How'd you do? I hope you did well. If not, that's okay because we're learning this word. It's time for our writing prompt. So our writing prompt is, what would you yearn for if you didn't have it anymore? What would you yearn for if you didn't have it anymore? If you already know what you want to say, go ahead and start writing. If you need a little help, here's a sentence starter. If I didn't have it anymore, comma, I would yearn for, and finish your sentence. What would you have a strong wish for if you didn't have it anymore? What would you have a longing for if you didn't have it anymore? What would you want if it was no longer there? Write it down to finish the sentence. If you need more time, please pause the video. We're moving on to sentence number 4. Word number 4. And word number 4 is collate. Collate. Let's write that down. C-O-L-L-A-T-E. Collate. Have you heard that word before? Do you know what it means? Collate is a verb. That means it's an action. And it means to put pages together in the correct order. So, to put pages together in the correct order. Let's write that down in our notebook. To put pages together in the correct order. There we go. Collate. To put pages together in the correct order. If you need more time to write the word and definition, feel free to pause. Let's take a look at the word in a sentence to deepen our understanding. When the pages of my report got mixed up, I had to collate them. Well, if you're reading someone's report, it won't make sense if the pages are all mixed up. So she had to collate them. She had to put them in the correct order. Okay? So let's go ahead and number our line 1 through 5. I like to go across the line to save paper. And you don't need a whole lot of space. We're just going to put a check or an X. And you're going to tell me which of the following would you need to collate. Number 1, pages of a picture dictionary you made. Pages of a picture dictionary you made. Number 2, a stack of flyers. A stack of flyers. Number 3, pages to make a calendar. Pages to make a calendar. Number 4, the pages in a paperback book. Pages in a paperback book. And articles written by different people for a school magazine. Articles written by different people for a school magazine. Now, number 1, pages of a picture dictionary that you made. A dictionary is usually in a certain order. Usually it's alphabetical. So I'm going to put a check. Even though it's pictures, you still want it in order. Number 2, a stack of flyers. Well, a flyer is usually a 1 page of information, and if you have a stack of them, it doesn't matter what order you put them in. So I'm going to put an X. Number 3, pages to make a calendar. Calendars go in order. They go in order by the months, by the number of days. So we definitely would want that in order. We definitely would want to collate them. Number 4, pages in a paperback book. You can't read a book very well if the pages are all out of order. So if the pages got all mixed up, we would need to collate them. So a check for number 4. And number 5, articles written by different people for a school magazine. This one's a little tricky. I would think they don't have a very specific order until you figure out where you want them in the magazine. So I'm going to put an X. All right, last thing. We're going to do our writing prompt, and you're going to tell me how would you figure out how to collate the pages in a class dictionary. If every student in the class was doing an entry for a dictionary, how would you collate them? How would you put them in order? So, if you know what you want to say already, feel free to go ahead. But if you need a little help, you can use my sentence starter. To collate the pages in a class dictionary, I would, and you're going to finish your sentence. What would you do to put them in order? What would you do to collate them? All right? Well, that's the end of part 2 of week 2's vocabulary lessons. We learned 4 new words this week: immaculate, junction, yearn, and collate. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.